Hi guys, Jared here at Day Traders FX. I hope everyone's doing great and having a great day. I want to talk about the euro dollar today. I think there's some pretty interesting things in the works here, so let's have a look. First off, let's see what we have as far as news goes for the coming session. Remember, we've seen a bit of news already: core retail sales, PPI, all of that stuff. And then we don't have anything else major coming up today, but tomorrow is going to be a pretty big day. We have the ADP numbers, which is always, can be a decent mover. Core CPI just a few minutes after that. And then the big one that we're all waiting for is the FOMC statement, which is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And that's going to be a big deal, especially with the fact that everybody is assuming the Fed is going to put off tapering until March, April of next year. And so if any kind of surprise happens there, that's going to be something worth noting, and that will definitely have a very strong effect on these currency setups. Okay, on Twitter I already sent out a little bit of an update saying some options, showing some options that I'm looking for on this euro dollar, but I wanted to clarify just a little bit. First off, we can see that the euro had this big spike up. We saw a little bit of positive ECB news, and the euro spiked up just to turn around and come all the way back down, and it's sitting right on the 200 moving average of the 1 hour chart. Now, remember that on this 4 hour chart, you can see that we've got a couple of levels. Here is a missed weekly pivot point around 136.30 area. That's just a hair over 100 pips away from current market price. We have a gap all the way back here and a missed weekly pivot, and that's at that's about 400 pips away, and that's all the way back at around 133.1520 area. So we're looking pretty good as far as some potential movement down. Now, one thing that I also did was, you can see this little short-term channel that I drew in. This is just about a week and a half long or so, and the market just kind of bumped up. The euro dollar bumped up around there, and now it's coming back down. We can see that we had this interesting level around 137.40 of last week. That wasn't the low or the high of last week. That was just a good turning point of last week, and then it bounced up and continued higher and then started to consolidate. Well, we're sitting right on that level. We've tried to make a break of it, and without too much success. We got a low here of about 137.36, but it looks like that 40 still seems to be holding. Now, we had this huge price rejection candle. It looked like this thing was going to go up and make a nice inverted hammer, and it did, but now the market's already below this and looks like it will easily close below that as well. So even though I do think that we're probably going to get a bit of a bounce off this little double bottom zone right here, I think that this 137.40 area is going to have to give way, and we're going to start making our way down towards the missed weekly pivot from last week. Now, another reason that I think this is very highly probable is because we have opened below, or excuse me, we're about to open below the 23% fib. Now, remember, our chances of moving from the 23 to the 38 are super high. And so making that run down to that 38, which is at 136.95, is a very high probability. But what I would like to see, especially if this can open below this 23% fib, is a little bit of retracement so that we can get in against this high. We're not super far. We're 85 pips from the very highest point here. If this could retrace 40 pips or so and give us a nice opportunity to get in around 137.75 to short this thing and target that missed weekly or Fibonacci level there at 136.95, I would love that trade, and I think we have a very good possibility of it. Remember, though, a break of this high, which is 138.30, give or take a pip or two, a break of that high, and we're now going to be targeting 139.60-70, and the Fed news could definitely push that up through there. But remember, as far as the setup goes, we're starting to see some turns, we're starting to see some range-bound markets, and we're starting to see some things that could really get this this euro dollar headed lower into that 136.95 and ultimately into that 136.15 area. But again, we get above 138.30, and it's most likely we're going to see at least a 100 pip run from there, if not a bit more. So that's what I'm looking for the moment. Best of luck, and let's grab some pips and some trades on this thing. And I will see you guys on Twitter and in the chat. Thanks, everyone.